Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we're talking about Halloween 5, The Revenge. The Revenge of Michael Myers. Got Killian and Coriander with me. So guys, here we are in part 5. What's the quick take? What's the quick take?
Die!
Michael
Die!
Hey.
Loomis!
Hey man, for anyone that has been following our series on Halloween, you know how we feel about the late great Donald Pleasence. Let's just do a quick take on this one, man. Let me start with you, Kill, and then we'll go to Coriander. Quick take on this one, man.
This one feels like it picks up like literally, a few weeks later from the last movie. I know it's probably been like more like months, but it's like, hey, Uncle Michael wants to kill, his niece, part 2, man. This poor girl. This time we're gonna do it in a hospital, mental hospital / school. So yeah, new venue, but he still wants that blood, man.
Right. All right, Coriander. What was your quick take on this movie before we check the chat and start this thing off?
I absolutely hated the mask. I hated it.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Yes, you did.
Did you hate it? Did you hate it more than the last movie?
Yes.
Really?
I did. This is 10 times worse, man.
You didn't, Kill?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I did. They both were so bad for me.
But this is
Well, and we'll definitely get into the mask because that's an interesting conversation, and we've got some behind the scenes fun facts, so that's always interesting too. And some of that is actually going to piggyback onto the new Shout Factory 4K release of the Halloween movies, so we'll get into that too. But let me just check the chat before we get the intro going. We got my man Eric, the champion of the people himself, saying, no torch holding here tonight. Burn the film with it instead." Eric, jeez. Eric, you're all right, man. I love it that you're here because you want to hear our opinions too on it. Slasher Fred's in the chat saying, "I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart I knew that hell would not have him." Donald Pleasence, it's poetry.
That is poetry. That is poetry.
And can I just say too before you go that him in these last 2 movies, that he saved these movies. If he wasn't in these movies, it would be shit. That's all I have to say.
Well, and again, we'll get into that too. But I mean, definitely Donald Pleasence was such a blessing to this franchise, and I don't know if that is stated enough. I know in our reviews we've talked about it, but he really was the glue. And I will give credit. We're jumping ahead a little bit, but I will give so much credit to Danielle Harris too, because watching these last 2 movies, I had almost forgotten how good she was as a child actress, and how this movie, and in comparison to something like Corey Feldman in Friday 4, where he was part of that, but he wasn't central like Jamie is in these 2 movies. So shout out to Danielle Harris, because I think she definitely made these enjoyable for me as well.
They didn't do her character any justice in the first half of this movie either.
Yeah, well, and we'll get to that.
Enjoy that mute part. Yeah, I get it. I get it, but no.
Yeah, and we'll get to that too. We got Jake the Snake, one of my favorite wrestlers from the old days of WWF. All right, saying, "Hey all, first time here. Love Halloween 5. It's definitely one of my favorites." All right, man. Welcome to the chat.
You are in the right place.
Yeah, you are. Welcome to the chat, and thank you for joining us. And we hope that you return. Thank you so much. We got my man Strange Monkey in the chat saying, "Michael's mask has a receding hairline. All of a sudden, laugh out loud." And he also says, "I'm ready for that 4K release. I'm excited to see the lost footage." Exactly. There's some lost footage. It's going to be interesting. And it also, well, we'll get to that. We're jumping ahead. Apollo, my man Apollo's in the chat saying, "Hey guys, I love this mask. I know I'm alone in this opinion. Creepy as hell." It was creepy. I will give you that.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It was creepy.
I'm sorry, but it ruined it for me. I hated it.
All right. Eric says, Eric says, as much as I hate this one, I still have to give props to Pleasence as crazy Loomis in this, but I digress. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked, actually.
Slasher Fred saying Corey Feldman had a cameo in the opening of Friday Part 5. He sure did. He did. Okay, guys, we're going to finish getting set up. So for you guys in the chat, for you guys watching the replay, sit back, relax, grab a drink. You know what time it is. All right. Let's kick this thing off. Kill. Let's start from the beginning, man. Give me your quick thoughts. Let's talk about the story. You said it felt like a few months after. It was a year later, but
well, yeah.
But and just to throw this out before you begin, Halloween 4 was still in the theaters when Akkad and everyone else behind the scenes was like, let's start Part 5 because 4 did so well. So they definitely said we got to get this in the theater 1 year after Part 4. So, anyways, just throwing that out there. All right, so what do we got?
And so he was recuperating that whole time for that whole year.
Yes.
Until his favorite day.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I know what you're doing. Okay, Michael. You only can kill on Halloween. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it starts off where him getting shot up like Swiss cheese by like a million cops, and falling through like a mine shaft or a mine crevice. And then he's just like, all right, I'm still cool. Now, mind you, he got Swiss cheese, but he's walking through the caverns. All right, he gets in the river and kind of floats downstream.
Right.
And this, excuse me, so sorry. And this hermit, this poor, nice hermit just sees this guy. Oh, this person needs help. Let me help this weird, crazy looking guy in a mask and let me recoup him. For about a year, right? Okay. So, and how does Michael repay this good little recluse? He kills him, because it's my day. Thank you for feeding me soup for a year and taking care of me. And here's your prize.
It reminded me of when Gene Hackman and Young Frankenstein was taking care of the monster. But real quick in the chat before I get to you, Coriander, a couple people jumped in. We got my man Steven from the Movie Brothers. Say, hey guys, it's Steven here, the ever-changing mass. Yes.
Right.
Welcome in, Steven. These guys are doing a hell of a job with Scream Fest this week, going through each of the Scream movies with a bunch of special guests, some of which are close friends of the channel too, like the horror miser Monty G and Killjoy Jake. So very, very cool. He's going through the lines. You got to love it. We got my man Ken from Mid-Level Media. What's up, man? Saying, damn, awesome intro. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it. How you doing, brother? Nice to see you. Everyone, check out Ken. I mean, if you guys need any type of help getting your physical media, Ken's the man. I watch his channel. He's awesome. Apollo saying also the 4K will have the police station massacre scene with Meeker getting killed. Yes, I heard that too.
Nice.
Yes. Eric saying, I still say that Michael looks like Nicolas Cage on that Halloween 5 4K cover. That's funny. Apollo says, so did Myers not eat or go to the bathroom in his year coma?
He was taken care of well.
Yes. Eric saying, hey, that hermit was just lonely. He just wanted some company. Yes, he did. All right. So Coriander, piggybacking off of what Kill said, we see the great, and I do say great because I can't recall a child actress or actor that carried 2 movies as much and as well as Danielle Harris has in a horror movie, that is. When she has that psychic connection with Michael, knows that he's back. What were you thinking at this point in the story? This is still in the beginning, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, they share this bond, this link. And, it's kind of interesting that she can still like, because in the other movie, couldn't she like sense them and stuff, right?
She sensed them a little bit, like at the end, they played around with that a little bit after they ran him off to the edge, and she went up to him and had that physical touch and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So now obviously it's stronger, and that's kind of interesting because in a way that like it kind of helps her to her advantage.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting. And
yeah,
I mean, Killian, you said it all at the beginning. So yeah, man.
Eric saying, to answer your question about Michael eating, it's magic. Shout out to Halloween 3. All right. Shout out to Halloween 3. Good old Eric. Ken saying, thanks, man. I enjoy this movie as a solid entry in the franchise, but I do not like how they do my girl Rachel in the first 30 minutes. That's exactly where I was going.
It's like
that's
15 minutes. Yeah, man.
Right? I mean, now I will say this, and rewatching it as we do with all these movies, there were moments in the first half. I think the movie really picks up in the second half once they kind of allow Danielle Harris to react more, to talk.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think the first half of the movie sorely missed Rachel, played by Ellie Cornell, and she wanted to be a part of this movie, and she was very disappointed that her role was diminished. And I don't know why they did it. I think she was a great actress in the last movie. I think she was one of the integral reasons why Halloween 4 was so good. And
they should have switched her and friggin' Tina right there. You know, Tina should have been taken out, and Rachel should have been all the way to the end.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, they bring Wendy Kaplan in as Tina, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to sound like I'm belittling people, because obviously actors and actresses are only going by the script that they're given. This is really a screenwriter and director question, but I don't understand why they did that switch like that, especially when Ellie Cornell was there and ready to continue this arc that she had from Halloween 4. It's very, very disappointing. Even as a kid, when I saw this movie, I was like, wow, they killed Rachel. Why? Go ahead, Kill.
Well, I agree with you guys. I don't like it either, but I think they might have done it to make Jamie even more alone.
Maybe. Well,
and also, I mean, there's no one else in Jamie's life that would have had that impact as like taking out her Rachel, so I guess maybe in some way the studio execs were just like, all right, well, how can we F over Jamie even more in this sequel? let's kill the sister. Like, maybe. All right, so now that makes her even more vulnerable. And of course you also have Dr. Loomis, who's returning, so I guess they were just like, well, we got Loomis. So sorry, Rachel.
But at the same time, and then Coriander, let me know what you think about what I'm saying here. At the same time, I felt like they kind of sidetracked Loomis in the first half of the movie. You know what I mean? Like that scene that he had once. And you gotta love Loomis. He always comes in at the right time. God, he's so good. Man. He's so good at these movies.
When he was coming in here, he wasn't about them games. He was about to like call Jamie out of her name, like this little. She knows where he is, and she won't talk.
Yeah, he's just he's just waiting because he knows that Michael is still alive. But what I was going to say is, after that scene when Rachel is leaving the institute and her and Loomis have a little conversation, and it's a good conversation back and forth. I started to feel that Halloween 4 magic a little bit, because these characters had a history together. And I think I was saying to you, Coriander, I wish that we could have gotten just a little bit more of that before they decided to kill Rachel. You know what I'm saying? What do you think, Coriander?
I agree totally. And the way they killed her off to boot was like, what? I don't know. I just didn't like that. Yeah. She didn't even last, 30 minutes into it. I wish it was 30 minutes, but
Right. And it was some creepy scenes. That scene where she was getting dressed and Michael was like coming out of the closet. They had their moments where they paid respect and definitely showed him as the shape. When he finally does kill Rachel, this scene was supposed to be a lot more graphic. It was supposed to be a throat stab, and Ellie Cornell was kind of against it, thinking it was just too gross for her character. She was probably figuring, man, I'm getting killed. Don't do me like that or whatever, you know. So they kind of changed it to just being a stab in the chest. But Kill, you know, at this point in the story, we've got Rachel gone. What were you thinking at that point? You know, especially if you could remember the first time you saw it, because I remember the first time I saw it, and I'm like, well, where are we going to go now?
Well, honestly, for me, sort of what I was just saying is some of the reasoning they did it. When that happened, me being a little brother myself, you know, it's like, oh man, she has no one now. Like that is messed up. And the way that she is so connected to Michael now, she felt that murder.
Right.
She felt that kill. You know, she woke up screaming, you know, because she now has this kind of psychic link, you know. Yeah. And I felt so bad for her because she went through hell and back in the first movie, ended up going borderline psychotic and stabbing her stepmom, ending up in a institute, you know, and now her stepsister who okay, I got to stop for a second. Rachel is still down for Jamie after Jamie stabbed her mom. All right, let's not forget that, because some people might have been like, it's a wrap. You are scorched earth. You're crazy, just like the rest of the people in your family. But no, it seemed like the mom forgave her, the dad forgave her, and the sister forgave her. Like, you know, we all sometimes stab our moms. You know, it's okay. Yeah. So I, you know, seeing that scene on how she came to her bedside and was like, "Hey, little sis," and you know, and I just felt so bad for Jamie. And like I said, I think that might be what they were thinking with killing Rachel so soon and pretty much being the first kill in the movie. Yeah, you know, so I just truly felt bad for Jamie.
Yeah. Slash Fred was saying there's a comedic moment in the movie where the two cops check out the Myers house. Yeah, and we're definitely going to get to that. That was a moment. We got RMJ in the chat. What's up? Welcome. Nice to have you in the chat with us. Hope you're enjoying it. It says that Halloween 5 has a great sinister atmosphere. Yes, it does. But the story is underdeveloped and the characters paper thin. Plus, the Man in Black totally pissed me off at the time.
Right?
You know,
he still pisses me off.
Like the Duke wannabe. That's what I was like. I was like, what the hell's Duke doing in this fucking movie?
Hey, Eric, shout out to Jason Goes to Hell. Good old Duke.
Right?
Ken was saying the barn kills were awesome. Yes, they definitely were. There's no doubt. Eric saying they didn't just get rid of Rachel within 30 minutes, but they replaced her with Tina. Yes.
Exactly. Yes. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Jake says, I didn't really like how they killed Rachel in the movie. I wish they would have stuck with the original script. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. I like Tina. I really didn't care for Sammy. Oh, okay. Samantha. Yeah. Ken saying that's the equivalent of killing Wilcox's Alice halfway through Nightmare 5. Why would you do that? Yeah. Same thing with Adrian King and Friday 2. You know, it's like, but I will say this, and I know we're not talking about Friday, but the only saving grace, and I love Adrian King, met her at the convention. She was awesome. She gives great hugs. But the saving grace of Friday Part 2, even though they killed off Alice, is that they had Jenny. And they were lucky to have Jenny as the replacement. You know what I mean? That usually doesn't happen, that you have a strong or stronger replacement for, you know, a lead like that. Ken saying that's a good point, but I don't think they did as much as they should with it, and they could have waited till the last 30 minutes at least. Okay, all right. Strange Monkey saying Loomis is not playing around in this movie. No, he's not.
He is not.
He is like Craven the Hunter in this movie, man. Jeez. Eric saying the Man in Black can't compare to the Duke or even the Jason Worms for that matter. Uh-oh, we're getting Eric going. Apollo saying, too bad the best scene in this film is the scene in the laundry shaft. That wouldn't even be in the original Myers house. Good point. Yeah, they couldn't even find the original house to do the shooting for the film, which I'm like, how could you not find the house? You know what I mean? So anyways, okay.
We lost the house.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump back here. I think I'm still with you, Kill. So Rachel's gone. Okay. Loomis knows something's up. He's interrogating a kid.
Yeah,
and look, man, I almost understand where he's coming from. He's like, come on, God damn it, tell me where he is.
Look, I'm so sorry, but I'm thinking of so many verbal things that like he's saying, like, you little bitch, you better snitch. Look, Loomis is not playing. He is done. Not. He could give two shits. He is done. And once again, and I said this on the last review we were talking about, his psychosis, he is fractured. He is a little insane now.
I would be too.
And Michael has caused this. And look, you better give him answers, little girl. Hey, you better be glad he don't got his gun no more. Because
he does warning shots.
He does warning shots. Hey, I'm just saying, I'm not endorsing it, Coriander, but
you're killing me. Oh my God, literally.
So now we know we're dealing with Tina, and at this point it's kind of the switcheroo. We have Tina, and we also have Samantha, and like I said, they're basically taking the place of Rachel. But we start to meet the rest of the cast. Is what I'm getting at, and Coriander. We meet Tina's boyfriend, your favorite character in the movie, Mikey.
I just love his car. Give me his car and ditch the guy. And I would be so happy.
Was he not annoying? Am I the only one that thought that I was ready to jump through the TV?
That's all I have to say.
He was worse than that guy.
I'm just saying.
He was annoying. He was very annoying.
He was. Shit. I mean, look, and don't get me wrong, and I think I can speak for all three of us. I still enjoyed the movie, and there were a lot of great moments, and it's Michael Myers. But I think they had some missteps as far as 4 was so successful in so many ways in bringing back Michael, bringing back the franchise. They were pretty much rocking on all cylinders. And for whatever reason, they just, there were a couple missteps, like getting rid of Rachel and putting Tina as a replacement. Because even as a kid, when I watched this, I'm like, well, who is she? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like she can't, to me anyways. And again, Jamie was in the institution for a year at this point, so maybe she visited a lot. But to me,
she had to.
How could she hold a torch to your stepsister that was so integral? You know what I mean? So just story wise, there was a couple of things that were kind of out there a little bit.
Her sister go away to college, right? Didn't she?
Whose sister?
Rachel.
Jamie. Yeah. Didn't she say she was away at college or something?
I can't remember that.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, either that or she stayed away because Jamie, tried to kill her mom. I don't know.
Right. Ken was saying, I love Jenny though. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Thank God that Jenny was there for part 2 after Alice was killed early. Movie brother Steven saying, I like Tina. She really cared for Jamie. No, I mean, she definitely cared.
She did.
And she had her moments, but I just feel like Rachel was a better character. That's just
she was kind of annoying in a way, kind of like the dude in Nightmare Part 2 there.
Oh wow. Come on. You can't compare her to Jessie. Come on.
I'm just saying she had her annoying moments. You kind of agreed with me. Don't even play like that, because you were complaining about her throughout this whole fucking movie.
That's what I'm saying, is that she did have annoying characteristics, but I'm saying it was way worse than Jessie. Jessie was being haunted. Tina was acting like this for the fun of it all the way up until her sacrifice. That was the only time she got serious. Strange Monkey saying the Myers house looks like a Gothic mansion. It does. Yeah. They couldn't find the original house. We got Brian in the chat too saying, hey, Night, Coriander, and Killian.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome. Eric saying, sigh. Poor Loomis trying to communicate with a poor mute little girl, and his only interpreter is a boy with a stuttering problem. No wonder Loomis is nuts by the end.
But not only that, but he loves using poor Jamie as bait too. And it's like, this poor girl, man.
Yeah. Brian saying, I saw this film, I believe, at a Halloween horror movie marathon, and they made fun of this film with a commentary with the host of the event and some friends of his who have a podcast called We Hate Movies. Oh, man. Wow. That's crazy. Eric saying they didn't just replace Rachel with Tina, but Tina's annoying friends as well. Fire that casting director. Nightmare 2 butt bumps. But yeah, I mean, we met the rest of the cast, and then the other guy, the boyfriend of Samantha, he was almost worse with that cackling he did. But I will say, out of that group, Samantha was the least annoying. But all this is happening. I wanted to show this. All this is happening while Michael is just checking them out in broad daylight, man.
Yep.
And we have that first kill with Mikey. What'd you think of this, Killian?
Oh man, I was so happy because Mikey was annoying, and just like Coriander, I just want his car, you know. Right? Like I mean, he was just annoying, and the other boyfriend is just as annoying. I mean, they're just like, right? I mean, they're just like, oh god, they're just the worst, you know. Right? And one thing, like Tina, I really didn't have that big of an issue with Tina, you know. I mean, she's no Rachel. But maybe, you know, maybe Jamie's like, hey, I'm a brunette, you're a brunette. Like, hey, brunettes unite. I don't know. But, you know.
Coriander, what do you think of this kill to Mikey?
It was great. You know, I kind of didn't like that he, you know, did his car the way he did. The scratches were not necessary. But I did like how he took him out, yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, of course, you have, again, and anyone who's watched our episodes with this, we call him the greatest hype man in history. Loomis comes to Sheriff Meeker and is basically like, look, we got to get ready. Sheriff Meeker is still kind of like, hey, you know, we got to get everybody, you know, alarmed just because a girl has a nightmare. And it's like, you don't remember? And then he mentions his daughter. And it was a great little scene. Again, you know, Donald Pleasence, you know, we joke around a lot about it, but all seriousness, he was very, very integral to the success of these Halloween movies he was in, because he just has that gravitas. You know, he was amazing and a legend. But it was a cool little moment. And he said that great line that I used in the intro about he prayed that hell would have him, you know, but he knew that it wouldn't. And again, just great stuff. But we get to the party that they're going to, you know, Tina and Samantha and so forth. And we see your buddies kill, you know, you're the greatest cops of all time. What were you thinking about how all this was setting up? And while this is happening at the party, you have poor little Jamie who's trying to have a little fun at a costume party.
Man, you know, it once again, you know, Michael is just swimming around like a shark. And you know, there's no rhyme or reason to how he systematically takes people out. You know, he's gonna you know, kill Tina's boyfriend, take the car, put the mask on, drive the car around. Pretty good too. Michael is not a bad driver.
What I said too. Yeah, Michael had some skills.
Yeah, and look, can I just say one thing and I hope I'm not going all over, but that scene right there, ladies, if you get in a car and you think your boyfriend's trying to scare you or whatever, do me a favor. Eventually, you know, within a few seconds of him acting weird, just try to lift the mask up a little bit. Make sure it's the same skin tone. Make sure that he doesn't have blood on his neck and look at his hands. If his hands look like he's just a mountain man that's been burnt up, shot up, and just killed a bunch of people, get out of the car.
Right.
Come on.
Exactly.
But the one thing I was just gonna say is he's just like kind of playing with his food because he could take Tina out any time he wants, but he's just like, you know, hey, I got a lot of fish to fry tonight, and those cops are just they're just stupid. Shouts out to the sheriff's office in Haddonfield, because I don't know what y'all doing.
Yeah. All right. Jake says Mikey's death was epic. It was. It really, really was. Strange Monkey saying Michael sucks at stalking Tina and her friends. If you look closely in the background, he breaks a tree branch while walking by the trees. This is why the franchise went downhill. Strange Monkey's going off. Steven says Donald Pleasence helped us understand who Michael was rather than being a complete enigma. Pleasence was fantastic. Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah, he was.
Fred saying, speaking of fantastic, Donald Pleasence was in the movie Fantastic Voyage. Oh, going back in the archives there, Fred. All right. So at this point, Tina's trying to go to the party. The cops find her because Loomis makes a call and things happen. So the cops intercept Tina when she goes to a convenience store. But then we got, the scene at the barn once she gets there and they're playing tricks and good God, man. Like I said, some of this was just cringe, but it's all to set up Michael anyways. What were you thinking at this point in the story, Coriander?
Can I just say too, when those cops, came out of that house and it had that silly music playing along with them.
Yeah,
I was like,
music.
Yeah, I was like, come on, that was just a little too silly for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It just didn't belong.
It didn't.
I get what they were trying to do and what movie they were trying to, pay respect to, but
right.
It didn't. No, it didn't work. I'm sorry, but yeah, the whole scene with the barn scene was great. And those cops again, they even said we're not very smart, or no, we're not very good cops. Which, no, you're not. You know what I mean? So I'm glad they got it too. So
right.
Kudos to Michael with all these great kills that he just did in the barn and the cops and good.
Yeah, no, there were some good kills. I must admit, even as a kid, when I saw them, I was like, holy shit. What'd you think of these kills? I just wanted to show some of the images of that scene. What'd you think of these kills?
In my opinion, and I think someone also in the chat said it, those were the highlight of the movie for me, as far as the kills there, because I mean, and it's funny when I think of barns and barn kills, I automatically think of like Jason, Friday the 13th. I don't think of Michael Myers, but I gotta say, Michael said, "Hey, I can encroach on your territory too," and maybe they might have done that on purpose. But no, in my opinion, that whole sequence, just the anticipation. You got the teens out there, they're having sex or they're about to have sex, so it's about to go down, and you're sitting and you're waiting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So and then of course, like they already kind of misled the audience with the one kid dressed in a Mike Myers mask, and and the cops are like, "Hey, what are you doing then?" I said this in the last review. Outlaw that mask in Haddonfield. All right.
Right.
And then they see Michael and they're like, hey buddy, you can hurt someone with that. What are you doing? And he's just all like, what? It's just like, wow, you guys are too stupid. But no, this was the highlight as far as the kills. But between this and the
finale.
Well, I was gonna say the shaft, the ventilation shaft with Jamie.
Laundry chute.
Laundry chute. Yes.
Yeah. But Tina, comes out and she finally I think at this point, Tina, at least for me as a character, she's, I was definitely more invested in her, because, she didn't take any of this serious. She didn't even like Loomis because she thought that he was, corrupting Jamie and this and that, which I guess as a, if you're a youngster, you're going to look at life like that. But at the same time, the other part of me that might be looking too deeply in it, I'm thinking Michael Myers has haunted this town for years and years and years. He's killed upwards of 20 people at this point. And so he's real. We know he really killed people. And we know that Jamie was almost killed and then the incident with her stepmother. So it's like, I mean, how do you belittle that, But up until this point, that's what Tina was doing. And then she got more serious. And of course, Danielle Harris and her little boyfriend, I gotta admit, they were so cute. I gotta admit, man, I actually wish there was a little bit more of them in the movie together because, again, Danielle Harris was fantastic in this movie, especially when they unmuted her. But at this point, Tina obviously, has her moment of sacrifice. And before that, though, that car stunt where Michael is driving after the kids and almost runs the boy over, that was rough. And then when he runs into the tree and the car explodes and he hits the horn, and it was a nice scene the way it was done. And all of a sudden the horn stops beeping and it's like, oh boy, he comes out of the car. It's a great shot that they have of Michael basically showing that he can't be killed. What were you thinking at that point, Killian?
Man, once again, the shots out to Terminator. I mean, and once again, so now, Loomis is still around kind of doing his thing, but he's still a few steps behind.
Yeah.
And you have these two kids, they're alone.
Yeah.
Like this is and this isn't like those 80s Spielberg movies where the kids are, there's nothing gonna happen to them. No. Right. These kids are in mortal danger from Uncle Mikey. And Tina made her sacrifice, and the only other person out there that's really, looking or wants to help is Loomis. And he's been through hell and back. So yeah, man, when this happened, I was just like, geez, like what do you even do? Like, do you just give up? All right, Uncle Mike, go, okay, just do it.
Yeah, and at this point, what I found what was interesting, and actually before I say that, I just wanted to throw one thing in the comment section. Strange Monkey was saying, Coriander, I've been mad at that silly ass music for years. Who authorized this? Laugh out loud. I just wanted to read that out loud. But
nice.
But and by the way, guys, if you can, please give the video a like. That would definitely help the video and support the channel. We'd appreciate that. Thank you very much. But at this point is when, and I'm setting this up for you, Coriander, when Loomis has that fantastic moment that we played in the intro, where he's basically saying, Michael, I know you're still out there. You think that this rage can be stopped with your niece. Go back to where it started. Go home, Michael. I love it. So
that's a good impersonation, man.
Wasn't it? Hey, yeah. I've been watching this guy for years.
You should have heard him through the movie, right?
I did. I love that part. If that girl dies. So, anyways.
Oh man.
So we might do a video where we do our favorite impersonations. But So Loomis is doing his best, Craven the Hunter, and he's going to set this thing up. Which again, I was saying this to Coriander, and I'm setting this up for you, Coriander. I'm sorry, but what I loved about Loomis as still in this movie, one thing that they did right throughout all these movies is they kept him intelligent. You know what I'm saying? They never dumbed him down because he knew Michael was still out there. And in this following scene, when Michael pulls the okey doke on the cops, Loomis is like, "Now you'll come, Michael." So again, I did appreciate that. But what did you think about all this setup where they basically reenacted the scene of Judith from the original, Coriander?
Like I said, I felt bad for Jamie because this poor girl, she's been through hell and back. It's still continuing, and they're using her as bait, and I get it. They want to get him, and especially Loomis. I mean, he's been head on his tail now for forever. So, the fact that I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed the ending actually.
Yeah, no, I thought it was
really good.
It was a great finale. My man Brian is doing God's work, saying, "Hit the like button, guys." Thank you, Brian. We appreciate that. We definitely would appreciate it from you guys, because it's funny because a lot of times we'll get 30 or 40 people watching the video, but only like 15 likes. It's like, God, I hope this video is decent, But Stephen saying Pleasence was epic in that speech to Michael. I agree. I absolutely agree with you, Stephen. But Kill, the other thing too, and we've talked about this, and I know we're joking a lot about it, but we want to have fun with these reviews. But it's so true, man. Loomis is on a mission, and I'm not talking about like the Blues Brothers, a mission from God. Loomis is on a mission. And he even says to the cop, we're doing this my way. Do you know who's out there? That's Michael Myers. Mm-hmm. And so, all this set up to the finale as we start to finish this up, Kill. What were you thinking about these scenes? This cop was inept, of course. We know that.
This poor actor, he always plays that kind of character.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Bless his heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of the aspects of this that's very frustrating. Mm-hmm. Loomis has been telling people since day one, since movie one, hey, you want to survive this? Stick with me. All right. Right. All right. And it's true. If you look, Jamie Lee knew what was up. She rode the Loomis train.
Yes, she did.
She was like, hey, you know what? Forget you friends. I'm going with that guy.
Yeah.
It just seems like every movie, unfortunately, they have to restate how dangerous Michael is to the new sheriff or the relief sheriff or this new cop. For one, by now, and like you said, Knight, he's killed 20-something people in this town over the course of 10 years or however long this epic clusterfuck has been going on. And it's just, hey, there should be some notations in the book at the sheriff's department, like, hey, if Loomis speaks, listen. All right, like this guy. Everyone else
never lied.
He ain't never lied. I mean, it's like Roy Scheider in Jaws having to tell everyone every summer, hey, do you remember last summer when Jaws killed a bunch of kids? Like, come on, guys, just wake up. But no, like I said, with that poor actor, you knew he was toast. You knew he was toast. And once again, when you force Loomis to have to pull his gun out, Loomis already is not here for the games. And if you make him have to pull the steel out, look, look, do you really want to mess with that man? I'm sorry. But I love this, the way things are kind of culminating at the end, because Loomis is kind of at his wit's end, literally. And he's already called Michael out for the final showdown. Like, hey, you know where I'm gonna be, Mike. Holla at your boy if you want to catch these hands. You know, I know you're out there, Mike. And Mike's like, all right, let's do this. So it's so interesting because they have so much time invested in each other. There's a lot of history here. I mean, and you're just wondering, how is this going to end? I remember the first time I was watching this, I truly was wondering, oh, wow, because you never see a protagonist or a good guy kind of just call the bad guy out.
Yes.
Call the Jason out, call Freddy out. I mean, sometimes, if they have, we're going to pull Freddy's sweater in the real world again. All that bullshit. Or Jason. Oh, Jason, I got your mom's head here. Come on out. But no, this is Loomis, and he's like, look, I am invested in you. I am the final girl. I've been the final girl. Holler at me. And yeah, man, it was a great buildup. That's one thing I will say.
And this scene when he's talking to him. And I think I was saying this to you, Coriander, and I want your opinion on it, but I was saying to Coriander, only Loomis could make this scene make some kind of sense. You know what I mean?
It's to literally Michael think, like, look at what he was doing right there.
Yes, making him wonder. Yep, exactly. And he started to release the knife a little bit. But what I'm saying is that Loomis, like you said, he's got a history with him. Loomis has spent more time with Michael Myers than any person on the planet Earth at this point. So they know what's up with each other. And again, Donald Pleasence was able to make me believe this scenario where the knife is literally right there to stab the shit out of him. But again, it's a great little moment. And it's one of the few moments where I didn't mind the mask in this moment. I think that's partly because the scene was shot well. And again, it's Loomis and you've got Michael reacting to it. So the mask actually didn't bother me too much in this scene. Matter of fact, it's okay. It's all right. But Coriander, what were you thinking of that scene? And then, of course, what happens to Loomis, and then, of course, with Danielle Harris in this last couple minutes?
Yeah, I thought that was a great scene because, again, you have Loomis trying to reason with him, try to, do what he can to get him to just release the damn knife, But yeah, unfortunately, he slashes him in the gut and throws him over some stairs through a railing, and and then Danielle Harris. I mean, she was smart to run and to hide, and and it's so crazy that you would think, because where she chose to go down that laundry chute to hide there, and you see Michael looking at the door thinking, okay, he's going to go there first, but he doesn't. It's like, wow, he didn't even fall for it. Like, he instantly found her. So that was kind of a bummer, but that was a great scene. Yeah. This poor girl, like I said, and you said it, her acting, look at the terror on her face. I mean, she was so good.
She was so damn believable, man. Like I said, and you guys in the chat or leave a comment, I can rarely think of a child actor or actress that was able to convey this much in 2 movies and is the central character. Like, she literally is a central character. What were you going to say, Kel?
What about little Drew Barrymore?
Well, that's true. Drew Barrymore definitely had some great moments. I guess I'm paralleling it.
They tortured her in numerous movies.
That's true.
In a way. But
good point. Firestarter and
Cat's Eye. Yeah.
Cat's Eye. Yeah.
But no, I get your point. I mean, Danielle Harris is amazing. I mean, just the emotions on her face and the terror when she's in that chute. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, she just brings you into it, and you're rooting for her because she is the final girl, but she's the final kid girl.
Right. Well, and before she gets into the chute, though, she does that thing where she lies in the coffin and she says, "Uncle, and you're just like me. Let me see." And he takes off the mask, and shout out to Don Shanks. He had his moment unmasked. And then she goes into the chute, which I remember as a kid watching, and I thought that was just such a fantastic scene. This was really some of the big highlights of this movie for me. But she escapes the chute. That was a fantastic scene. Originally, she was going to get stabbed in the leg, and they were trying to fight, an X rating and all this type of stuff. So they actually made it so she didn't get stabbed in the leg by Michael in that scene, which, it's okay. But then when you think it's all over, you got Loomis. Man. And Donald Pleasence.
Look at the look on his face.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, Jesus.
Shot out again. I know I keep saying it. People might be getting tired of me saying it, but look, man, I'm a fan. Shout out to Donald Loomis. Donald Pleasence.
Donald Pleasence.
Donald Loomis. But he's got a game plan, And so I remember when I first watched this, I didn't know what was going to happen. But here you got Loomis doing the one thing that none of the cops thought to do, or at least to some degree. He basically sets a trap for Michael, shoots him up with tranquilizers. He's in a net, a chained net. So it's like, exactly. How can he get out of that? You know what I'm saying? He is a man, right? Well, more than a man, but you know what I'm saying.
He's and pure Loomis, evil.
Yes. But Loomis is the one that does it, and then he takes that 2x4 and he die, Michael, die, and then of course he collapses on top of him, which I thought was so poetic to end up like that. And then of course, and someone in the chat, I want to get to someone in the chat, and then I'll go to you, Kill. But Apollo. This is exactly what I was thinking to Apollo. Apollo says, "Why in the hell would the police let Myers keep his mask on in the jail?" Exactly. I mean, Brian says, "Shared you on Facebook." Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate it a lot. We really do, more than you know. Strange Monkey saying, "You can expect at least one Loomis impression from me tomorrow." That's awesome, nice. Man. That's awesome. Brian saying, maybe it wouldn't work for a Halloween movie if Michael didn't keep his mask on, no matter how ridiculous that might seem, I guess. Yeah, that was basically it. The actors always, and always a cop in movies. I love it. I think he was talking about that cop that got aced. Apollo saying, so guys, we learn in part 6 that Myers has to kill the last of his bloodline to end the curse. Yeah, that we'll definitely be getting to that. It's some funny stuff going on. We got my man, the Wolf Man, in the chat saying, hey, everyone, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Saying, hope you're having a great day. We are, man. We're having fun talking about Michael Myers. You know how it is. He says, the third act is amazing, but I wish the rest of the movie was on that level. Exactly, man.
Yeah.
We were saying that too. We were saying that too, man. The first half of the movie, I think it struggled because they got rid of Rachel too soon within the first 30 minutes. And Jamie was mute. You know, you got to let Danielle do what she got to do, you know. And you had a couple of annoying characters. I think that's what hampered the first half of the movie, but it did pick up. Eric said, I felt like Loomis felt at the end of this movie by the time the credits rolled. Wolfman saying, I'm actually writing a Halloween fan film that's a direct sequel to Halloween 4 and retcons 5 again. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. That's a good idea, man. I like that. Danielle Harris is one of the best child acting performances ever, and I hope they bring her back in a future movie. I think they should. They really should.
Well, they have before.
Well, yeah, and Rob Zombie, yeah.
Yeah.
Brian saying the laundry suit scene was very scary. Yes. Yeah. And there's Strange Monkey say, you want her? Here she is. We got my man Phil. Phil's in the chat. What's going on, Phil? How you doing, man?
Hey.
Saying, hey there, horror fans. You guessed it. Yes, man. Let's see. Eric saying, love that Loomis impression night. You had a little bit of Schwarzenegger in there. Yeah, man.
Oh,
we've been watching too many movies from both of those franchises lately.
Yeah, you know it, Eric. We've been on a tear with Terminator and these Halloween movies. Jake saying nobody could play Jamie like Danielle Harris. Was a shame she didn't play her in 6. Yes, man. Yeah. Absolutely. But as we get to the end here, guys, the stinger. Let's get to the stinger. Apollo mentioned it. You know, got Michael Myers with his mask on in jail, just sitting there chilling. Now, first of all, from both of you guys, I'll start with you, Kill. And especially maybe when you first saw it, if you can remember. What were you thinking was going to happen at this point? I had no clue.
Well, you know, it's funny, man. The first time I saw it is what I still think to this day. It's like, what the hell? What? Like, what? Right. I'm looking at some black cowboy boots, and you know, like someone's, you know, blow. I'm gonna blow him out of here, and we're gonna get on our horses, and we're gonna ride off into the sunset. Like, what is this? What is this?
What?
You know, I just, you know, and once again, it just seemed like, you know, they're casting out reels. They're just trying to see, well, what can we do for the next one? Well, let's do some cult stuff. Let's have the Duke. Oh, I mean, this guy, bust him out. And I to this day, this is just maddening. Yeah.
It was weird, but I do have a couple of quick facts I'm going to throw out there too, which, interestingly enough, make a little bit more sense. Actually, a lot more sense. But Coriander, you had forgotten about this ending. What were you thinking at this point when Michael was in jail and you saw the man in black walking around, just walking around, solving problems on the earth like Kwai Chang King and Kung Fu? Yeah. What did you think of this scene?
You know, like Killian said, I mean, when I instantly saw him step off the bus, that's all I could think of was freaking Duke. And it's like, now here he is shooting him out of the prison. It's like, what the hell's going on here? You know? And it's kind of I completely forgot about it. Like erased it because I guess I just hated it that much that I don't know. I just don't like how it ended. So
originally, and I do want to throw this out here, and then we do have a couple fun facts from Coriander. But originally, the beginning scene, instead of having an older gentleman in a shack, it was supposed to be a younger guy. They actually filmed this. It was supposed to be a younger guy. In that shack, they had, you know, runes and symbols and all this type of stuff, basically saying they were going to indoctrinate Michael into this cult, this Thorn cult or whatever. And that would have made more sense in the movie when you saw the Man in Black, and it was going to weave in a little bit better.
So it connected their tattoos, you're saying?
Yes.
They both had the same tattoos.
Yes. But for whatever reason, they decided, and they had filmed this with the younger guy in the shack taking care of Michael and basically indoctrinating him into the cult. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it was a cod or whatever, but basically they wanted to shy away from that. I think they didn't. I don't know if they just didn't want to get too culty in the movie. I'm not sure, but it would have made a little bit more sense why this guy is following Mike around and then busting him out of the joint at the end. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even when I first saw this, I was just kind of like, well, who is that? Now, I will say this, he busts him out. And then, of course, you have that cop that was sitting there with Jamie in the car outside of the police station. You hear all this gunfire and an explosion. And instead of protecting the little 10-year-old girl, the cop says, "Stay right here," and leaves her. So what the fuck? And of course, he gets killed. You see Danielle Harris walk into the station, which that was kind of iffy too, but they had to show you what happened, right, in the movie. And then, of course, you see everyone's dead. And Michael is busted out, and all she yells is, "No, no," and then it cuts off. Not as good of an ending as 4, but yes, another interesting cliffhanger. But again, they didn't set it up well enough, in my opinion. Do you agree with that kill or what?
Yeah, 100%. And the thing about it is, if they had, filmed the scenes with the younger caretaker,
yes,
okay, and if you decided at the 0 hour, hey, we're not going to have this, they really shouldn't have had these other parts, because the threads aren't there, the through lines aren't there, and we don't know what's going on here, and is this a cult? Who is this character? Have we ever met this character before? Is this just a Haddonfield resident? What is this?
Right.
So yeah, like it just seemed like it just kind of came from out of nowhere, literally.
Exactly. So. Wolfman saying, "I also prefer Rachel Dolores Strode." Yes, I said it. I want more of that character. Rachel was great, and like I said, that's why I think the first half of the movie she was sorely missed. Eric saying, "Michael kept that mask on in jail. Say the Man in Black didn't break him out. Would Michael be allowed to wear that in court during the prosecution?" How do you plead, Mr. Myers? Brian saying maybe the Man in Black is a plot device. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Eric saying cults are a bad idea in this, but cops with bells and whistles are okay. Shaking my head. Oh, a cod. Yeah. Wolfman said, okay, well, we're going to answer that as we get to that, man. He's talking about Buster Rhymes and Resurrection.
Oh.
You wait till we get to that one, man. That's going to be fun. But let's also, just for the fun of it, Coriander, we're going to jump into a couple of fun facts that we got here too, okay? And some of the things we wanted to pass on about the movie that, maybe some people don't think about too much. But we'll start with box office.
Yeah, this was the lowest grossing film in the entire series.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah. That mask.
Don Shanks was set to wear the mask from part 4, but it didn't fit, so they had to make a new one.
And they made the wrong kind.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, man. Next one. The Greatest Cops Ever.
Yeah, that's damn stupid music that they added in. They were paying homage to Wes Craven's The Last House on the Left.
Yeah. Now, see, it makes sense in Last House on the Left, because that was, backwoods type of scenario. It didn't make sense here, man.
Not really. When I first heard it, it's like, what the fuck is this?
Right?
It didn't even fit. It made no sense.
Oh, man, I love it, though. All right, next one. My man, Don Shanks.
Yeah, he did all of his stunts. The swimming, which was in 30-degree water, the car crashing into the tree. He was going 30 miles per hour, and he narrowly escaped the fire. So, yeah.
Nice.
Kudos to him.
Yeah, we got two more here, two more fun facts. First one, the great Donald Pleasence.
His scenes were shot in the first 2 weeks of filming.
Yeah. And also to add on to that, he actually gave his trailer to Danielle Harris, because Danielle Harris's trailer was very, very small, and her mother was a little upset because, you know, she obviously had a big part in the movie, but her trailer was really small, even for a little child. And Donald Pleasence said, she can have mine, you know. So again, you know, he was pretty awesome from all accounts.
Right?
Last fun fact, native ancestry.
Yeah, when I couldn't believe this when I found this out, because I didn't even know that Don Shanks, yes, is Native American. He's Cherokee. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's fucking awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, it is.
Very cool. But yeah, man, this movie, it is very awesome. I agree with that too. But this movie, man, you know, it has a lot of high points. And of course, these two right here, I think they made the movie. I mean, let's just be honest about it. Interestingly enough, too, the first draft of this movie, they were going to continue that arc with Jamie being evil. And there was even a an interview where, you know, young Danielle Harris was basically saying, yeah, I'd like to do that. You know, it's, you know, I would have liked to have done that, but I guess they just shied away from it, you know. But in all accounts, a lot of these actors and actresses had a good time on the set. You know, again, I just don't think they should have replaced Rachel with Tina the way they did. I think Tina would have been good as a support to Rachel. You know what I'm saying? Because in the scenes where she was hanging out with Rachel, that was fine because they balanced each other as characters, you know, personalities. But once you have Rachel gone, it just, you know, it wasn't as balanced until near the end before Tina sacrificed herself. Real quick in the chat as we finish up here and get ready to head on out. Let's see what we got. Brian says, maybe the Man in Black is another Michael Myers. Maybe. Let's see. Eric's saying the original mask didn't fit. They lost the Myers house. Seriously. Right? That's what I'm saying, man. Crazy. We got my man Neon Black, in the chat saying, I remember absolutely nothing about this movie, and I'm good with that.
Oh, no.
Neil's like, I hate it. But I will say this, and we'll get some final thoughts from you too, Kill and Coriander. You know, again, this was fine. You know, it was not as good as 4, in my opinion, because they just had some missteps. They didn't use the strength of Danielle Harris or Ellie Cornell, or even Donald Pleasence, you know, because in the first half of the movie, I think they kind of sidelined Loomis a little too much. All that being said, it was a great finale. And I think Don Shanks was a good Michael Myers. I didn't like the mask, though. And again, shout out to Danielle Harris. Final thoughts, Kill, and then we'll go to you, Coriander.
You know, I mean, you kind of just said a lot of what I'm thinking. A lot of missed opportunities. You have an established great child actress here who's proven herself in the last movie. Why would you mute her for the first 30 to 40 minutes of the film? Like that just, you know, because it limits other characters being able to play off of her. It limits, you know, Donald Pleasence being able to play off of her, which now that limits his screen time, which that's definitely a no-no. This movie, it had more low spots than good things in my mind. Like I said before, I love the barn kills and I love the laundry chute, you know, stuff. But the mask was bad, and I almost didn't think the mask could be worse than the last movie. But I mean,
although I love that poster.
That poster is amazing, and when they have the light on that. Because that is not the same mask. That does not look like the same mask. That is the mask they should be wearing. It's beautiful, and that poster is amazing. But I you know, it's so funny. I've been dreading these two movies because of the mask. now the one thing I can say is we're going into some, as Knight says, dark territories. But regardless of actors or rappers in those movies, the mask get better. Okay, I will say that, ladies and gentlemen, the mask get better. All right, and you know me, I'm a fan of the mask. Shouts out to Sack Boy. All right.
Sack Boy.
So yeah, The Mask will get better, but these two movies in the entry, you know, in the timeline, I was like, man, those were the worst masks in my opinion for the whole franchise. So,
Strange Monkey saying this franchise is known for killing off his main protagonist. Yeah. Eric saying, as a man that hates this movie, I can still find good in it. Very little, but it's there. You just have to dig through it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Coriander, any final thoughts for you?
You know, I really enjoyed Don as Michael, and I think it's a shame that he didn't come back and do the role again.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he did great. And
he did. Yeah. Interestingly enough, George Wilbur comes back in the next installment. He was the Michael in 4. So it's kind of weird because George Wilbur was one of the stuntmen in this movie too. So I don't know, you know, it's just funny, you know. That's the one thing about in the Friday franchise. Once they knew that they had Kane, they held on to him for 4 movies, and that was a smart thing. It really was. Steven saying the barn kills were my favorite kills of the movie. Very, very, very much so. Brian saying that the film was rushed. It was. I mean, they were getting this movie going while 4 was still in theaters. You know, and Mustafa Akkad said we were drunk off of the success of Halloween 4 and started to jump into 5. So they knew they were rushing. Eric says the mask get better, kind of. You still have to get to H2O, Killian.
I still think they might be a step up with
you got my boy in that one. It's a good one, H2O.
Yeah. Next week on the Night Watch Zone, Michael Myers versus Ant-Man. Place your bets. Shout out to Paul Rudd. Yes. Brian said I met the first Michael Myers at a horror convention. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, very cool.
And again, you know, with the Shout Factory 4K coming out, they also have the alternate opening with Dr. Death, you know. So like I said, it might actually make things make more sense. It seems like it will. And it might really elevate the movie some more, especially if they have some of the gore back in it, because they did mute some of the gore because they were trying to avoid the X rating. So I'm going to be interested to see what it's going to be like. But there was some fun. Anyways, guys, that's all we got for Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Please give the video a like. And almost as importantly, please leave us a comment in the comment section down below. Let us know what you think about the movie, about Michael, about the series at this point, what you're expecting for the next 6 movies. We're in dark territory, man. This is going to be something else leading up to Halloween Kills.
Yeah, 6.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 6. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? I love it, man. It's great. It's fun talking about these movies, and I'm glad we can revisit it. Hope you guys are enjoying revisiting it with us. As we head on out, I think everyone's all situated in the chat. Steven saying, great time, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate that, brother. Brian saying, nice stream. Night, Coriander and Killian. And saying goodbye to everyone. Same to you, brother. All right, guys, we're going to head on out. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. And remember, as Loomis said, go home! Go home, Michael! Peace.
Peace.
Chicken meal.